what I love most about it is I'm not here to wage war, because most of my clients aren't here to wage war. My preference is that if the client will agree, I tend towards making peace. I think it's better for business, and it's a much greater use of time and resources. The statistics don't lie. The statistics are that over 90% of all mediations will succeed by settlement on the day or shortly thereafter. That is surely a better result for most clients than if if a dispute resolution took 2 or 3 years and cost an awful lot of money.
Hello everyone, I'm Stuart Lawrence, founder of Mediator Locator, and welcome to our short video series, Meet the Mediators. In this series, we're getting to know the people behind the role, and I'll be asking mediators from our network about their background, how they got into mediation, types of dispute they specialise in, and what they find most rewarding, plus a quick reflection on their experience as part of the Mediator Locator panel. And this series is a great way to see the human side of mediation and why choosing the right mediator can make all the difference. So let's get started. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Tim Constable. Tim, maybe you can introduce yourself and say a little bit about what you do and your background.
Hello, yes, I'm Tim. I am by profession, I'm a commercial dispute resolver, and that very much involves mediation. I started my career in 1989 in a very small firm in northwest London, and then I went to a larger firm just outside London called BP Collins, and I stayed there for about 15 years, and then I went to a larger firm in Watford called Matthew Arnold and Baldwin, and then I with the rest of the litigators there, I went to a big international firm called Denton's, where I was for a number of years. I specialise in commercial and other dispute resolution.
Perfect. Thanks, Tim. And tell me, how did you get into mediation? What was the catalyst for you?
Yes, well, it was in the late 1990s, and I was involved in a court case with barristers' chambers called Littleton Chambers, and they were very much forerunners of mediation. And one of their head of chambers, Michel Calipetis, as he was then, we were doing a case, and it was suggested by another member of their chambers that we use Michel in terms of this brand new idea to much of the profession then called mediation. Didn't know too much about it, but it was felt that it could settle maybe this rather intractable dispute that we had. So we went along with it, both sides, and it was the first for the other side as well. And we found that it worked. It settled the case on the day, and settled amicably. That was the end of the dispute. Never heard of that dispute again. And that was the start. And then from then on, we never looked back.
I mean, I think it's probably fair to say that you're a huge fan of mediation. I mean, you've done more than 200 mediations, I think, plus over your span of your career. So what is it you find most rewarding about mediation?
Yeah, well, I've done about 200 mediations, mainly as advocate, but I'm extremely involved in mediation. What I find out, what I love most about it is I'm not here to wage war, because most of my clients aren't here to wage war. My preference is that if the client will agree, I tend towards making peace. I think it's better for business, and it's a much greater use of time and resources. The statistics don't lie. The statistics are that over 90% of all mediations will succeed by settlement on the day or shortly thereafter. That is surely a better result for most clients than
Excellent. And you know, what's a particular type of disputes you specialise in or like helping to resolve most? I mean, you've got quite a breadth of experience, but what specifically do you like doing best in terms of mediation?
Yes, what do I like doing best? I like, if I always say, if it's got a V in the middle, as in one party v another party, then it's capable of resolution. And I like to see people, make peace. My specializations are principally commercial contract disputes, but I've also in the past specialized in contentious probate disputes. Boundary disputes lend themselves heavily towards an on-site mediation, but I can't think of a type of dispute in what I do in the commercial sphere which isn't capable of settlement by mediation.
Brilliant. And just in perhaps a couple of words, what do you think is the biggest benefit of mediation? You kind of alluded to it, but specifically, what do you think for clients? What's the most beneficial factor for it?
Certainty. Without a doubt, certainty. You get a certain answer very quickly, rather than waiting around for years for a judgment you may end up disagreeing with.
Perfect. And if you're happy to, just maybe a quick comment on your experience of working with Mediator Locator. Something really positive would be great.
I love mediation, and I tell you what, mainly, Stuart, I love your enthusiasm and your passion for the project, and long may it reign.
Brilliant. That's wonderful. Thanks, Tim. You're a star. I really appreciate it. So thanks, everybody, for watching this episode of Meet the Mediators. If you'd like to learn more about mediation or find the right mediator for your case, or instruct Tim, who's a first-class mediator, as you'll have realised from this short session, please visit us at mediatorlocator.com. Until next time, thanks very much and goodbye.